All right, awesome. I've got the amazing, the talented Dr. Gregg Raymond and his lovely wife, Karen Raymond, who managed his practice for years and years and years. Our coaches extraordinaire with All Star Dental Academy and Victory Coaching, and they're here to help today. We're going to do a coaching session, right? We're going to do a coaching session. It's going to be all things marketing, all things marketing. We'll probably spend, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes just talking about ideas, things that you guys did in your practice that I see disappearing from our skill set. We're not doing the things that you guys were doing that work so well, that still would work well, that I think clients really need to hear, really need to put in their practice. So thank you guys for giving us your time today. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Eric.
thank you.
So let's just jump right in. We use our tracker. Our tracker will show where all the new patients are coming from, referrals, Google, Yelp, and then it'll say things like radio or media or uh, whitening program or Smiles for Life will be on there or things like that. There'll be all sorts of different sources. And usually what I see is it's all under referrals and then internet and really nothing else. So I want to talk about those nothing else sections that people don't know how to maximize really. And so let's just speak from your story, your experience, and you guys just start sharing with us and we'll do a training session on how to market the practice better. So share with me, I guess maybe your top ideas on how to market the practice. What do you
Yeah,
think?
that's great. One thing, Eric, we kind of categorized as far as marketing goes, external marketing versus internal marketing.
Yeah.
External, basically, there's a cost involved with doing some external marketing, such as what you just mentioned, radio or TV, newspaper, magazine, et cetera, which there's a cost and a budget we had to stay in.
Yep.
The internal marketing was exciting and was always the best and the most economical way of doing it,
Okay.
and especially using our team. Our team was so valuable with ideas and brainstorming and getting excited about what they thought was very valuable and what they could personally get behind as far as reaching out to patients and asking for referrals.
Mm.
So that, the old, everyone always talks about word of mouth being so valuable, and it's so true because patients arrive with a level of truth that they trust you.
That's
Uh,
right. The trust level's already there as they walk in. Yeah.
exactly. Karen and I just recently, in fact, have a place in Florida, and we didn't have any doctors. We didn't have any resources or anything. And so what we did, we asked our neighbors and we trusted their opinion. And sure enough, it worked out really well, didn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it did.
good.
So I'd say word of mouth is still, was at least still our number one referral source and actually the most economical.
I think,
Yeah.
As-
excuse me,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
go
I
on.
think one of the things that was really fun was we took our team to a five-star hotel.
Yeah.
And you don't need to go to Florida or Hawaii to do that. You can do it very close. We did it in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And we wanted them to see how they were treated. And we said, this is how we want to treat our patients.
Mm-hmm.
Because today, in today's age, we're not getting the five-star service or the customer care that we
Yeah.
used to get. And if you're giving that in your dental practice, already that's going to be talked about. And we know people complain more than they'll compliment. So you want something to be extremely outstanding. It was
Yeah.
things like sometimes we'd have a game even with the girls, like whoever had the most patient referrals that week, that month. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was actually, telling the patients, if you had a great experience here, we would love for you to tell your friends about it because we're accepting new patients now.
Yeah.
And at the end of the month, one of the girls would get a prize if she actually had the most. Um, One thing our patients loved was when our patients referred patients to us.
Yeah.
And that's such a good way because when you have a good patient, they're referring patients, they already know what kind of practice they're getting into.
Yeah.
We would send flowers after maybe 2 or 3 referrals, we'd send flowers to work, especially if you can send it to work where other people will see it.
That's right.
Home or whatever you think that they would like. It doesn't have to be flowers, but that, yes, people would be shocked when they would get those flowers or a gift from us for having confidence.
And Amazon, you order something from Amazon, you can ship it wherever you want with anybody's name on it. And they're like, what did I get? Open it up. Boom. I love it. Yeah. So good. So 5-star hotel, like Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton. What are some other examples? I can't think of other ones.
We had an Omni, we had
okay.
Hilton.
Okay. Yeah. So 5-star hotels in your area, make it a team event. It could be something that you're celebrating, right? Where you're going, hey, we had a great month. We had a great quarter. We had a great half of a year. Let's go celebrate and experience something, but let's make it a homework event. And come back to a team meeting after you've had that experience and share all the things you loved about it and things you hated. I sent, you can do this for, if you have like a really, really amazing car dealership, they're known for their customer service. Go, send 2 team members there. Go to an amazing restaurant. Hey, you 2 are going to go there. And the doctor foots the bill, but they come back with ideas that they pick up from these places. And sometimes they come back with things they want to make sure we don't do.
Right.
That's exactly
very
right.
True. One thing I was going to throw in on this conversation too, Eric, is that when we would go to the hotels, we had the rooms comped because we would have the manager of the hotel come into our practice and do something as simple as teeth whitening or some kind of procedure that didn't cost us a lot of money. But then in return, they ended up comping our rooms and our food and everything else. I mean, it really worked out really well. So it was economically, it worked out very well.
Beautiful. I love it. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You gotta hope that the manager of the hotel needs some dental work. So something that's and you probably share with them what you were going to do anyway, right?
Exactly. We did.
Exactly.
And there was one time we even took his car and had it detailed while he was in the office real quickly and brought it back. He was so thrilled. He was over the top and just promoted us to all of his staff then at the hotel and everything. So it worked out really well.
I just had a meeting with Dr. Ted Morgan, our other coach, dentist coach, and we were talking about being insurance free. Should you be insurance free, and how do you do that? And all the things. And here's an example of some things you're telling me to do. And it's like, if I'm running on screech because I'm in network with insurance and the budget's tight, these things that you're talking about I can already hear the naysayers listening on, I can't do that. I don't have time. I don't have the money to do that, or whatever it might be. Right.
Right.
So you're not being Motel 6, you're being the Four Seasons.
Right. Exactly.
You have to be what you're trying to represent is who you are. And that when Gregg first started dentistry, this is off the subject a little, but his teeth were bad.
Mm-hmm.
And and then we get into cosmetic dentistry. And so we had to have our teeth done to make sure that we were representing what we were trying to.
Yeah. Let's see. How do they look? Let me see how they look. Yeah.
You have to walk the talk. And doing that with your team.
So glad you said that. Yep.
Team is so important also. They'll have a conversation about that with all their friends and family. So
doctor and team have to have a beautiful smile.
Yeah, exactly.
We did that with all of our team members. We made sure that they had a beautiful smile.
Yep.
Then they can speak from it when the patient's saying, well, I don't know if I like this. You know what? Actually, I had the same thing. And here's what doctor did for me. Really, what you guys are reminding me of is the book Raving Fans.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I read that, but creating an experience where people love it so much, they go out and word of mouth occurs. I've got a client locally, and we'll say Dr. Mike, and he says, I refuse for my team to ever ask for referral. I said, okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But I look at the numbers, he averages over 40 patients a month by referral
Oh, goodness.
because of all the things you're doing, what you're talking
Yeah.
about. We're
Yeah.
creating a raving fan experience. So they organically go out and talk about you. Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
It's such an example, Eric, of when we started going to seminars when we first opened our practice and we were not taking the team. And you come back with all these great ideas and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You get your team involved. It's their idea. They love it. They
Yeah.
see it. They feel it.
And they do
They're
it.
more excited than anybody.
Good. Let's keep going. So word of mouth, creating raving fans, these ideas. I love it. What else? What are some other things you guys did?
We did a lot of networking with other doctors. And in our particular instance, since we were more of a cosmetic dental practice, we networked with a lot of cosmetic surgeons, with plastic surgeons, with beauticians, with cosmetologists, with a lot of other practices, and we would offer them, and we did seminars together too. And this may be stretching things a little bit, but we would do a wine and cheese seminar in the evening, and we would co-op our advertising for these we would do wine and cheese seminars in an evening, usually on a Thursday evening, and we would speak and give our presentation to the attendees. And each of the practices, whether it's a cosmetic surgeon or ophthalmologist or hairstylist, would all invite our clients to this event. And we would share the cost on marketing and the wine and cheese. And we also had, I I started asking our specialists that we referred to, such as the orthodontist, endodontist, or oral surgeon, whoever you refer to maybe sponsor the event and pay for the wine and the cheese and help
Yeah.
support financially, so that it really decreases the cost of the event for yourself. But what I was going to say is, one thing that was really effective is that we would uh, ask if we could come in for a luncheon for these offices, for their team.
For the physicians' offices.
The
Exactly.
physician's offices, yes, any office that that you would be networking with,
Yeah.
and provide lunch and do a little presentation, and then give them an offer. It might be like teeth whitening for their whole
Oh, that's a good idea.
it may be whatever, but it grabbed a lot of attention. And we would also give them, we had referral cards made up where they can easily, especially the front desk person, the front office administrator, can just give them, well, here's a referral, for whatever. If you don't have a dental home, this is what we would recommend.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. I mean,
Oh, that's awesome.
it was a lot of fun, and it was quite an event. I mean, for our team.
How often did you do the lunch and learns versus the wine and cheese?
The wine and cheese probably at least once every quarter, I would say.
Gotcha.
As far as the lunch and learns, gee, that was
Varied a lot.
that varied a lot, but I would say maybe once or twice a month. But we
Wow.
just ask. Okay. Okay. So once or twice a month, we would have these meetings and these luncheons that we would cater for the physicians and their team. And it really caused quite a buzz. And we would
Wow.
bring our team members along with us
Always.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
good.
They would cross pollinate with each other about, doing this and doing that.
Relationship.
It was the relationship, and it was just a lot of fun and very worthwhile. I would strongly recommend that.
Yeah.
Yes, for instance, if, we did cosmetic a lot. However, there's a lot of practices doing TMJ. That would be a great experience to inform the doctor.
That's right.
And the nurses about TMJ, since so many people don't understand how it's treated or what it
Yeah.
is.
Completely agree. In fact, I'm typing as you guys are talking. Here's what I typed out. Get a referral pad. We have an example. I have a client who's actually done the homework and done it. Get a referral pad for your physician to use you. And if you're doing TMJ, you really want to meet with ear, nose, and throat. You really want to set up, because about, I don't know, 10 to 20% of them go like, I don't really know what's happening. And they're going to want to refer to you with these headaches. And so you can treat the TMJ problem that way. And I think I think the similarity here, the other thing I talked about is like, it's a lot like an Invisalign day. And many offices will be familiar with what that looks like. So do an Invisalign day and then recognize, oh my gosh, I can do this for other things as well. Implants.
Exactly.
We have clients who will do an implant day where, hey, you sign up here, you pay $300 that day to sign up for your implant, and then you get a savings down the line for your implant or whatever it might be. We can help you figure that out. I started digging on my computer and I want to show something with you guys. And I know you guys were using something just like this really quick. This is an example of what we use for a client who wants to create a 12-month marketing plan. So I don't know why it's not showing everything. I don't know. So usually it has like the year, there it is, has the year up here. And then each month, what you're doing for those things. So you can do that, relationship stuff. You can do some cause marketing, and we can help you develop what your 12-month marketing plan looks like. And there's just all kinds of ideas on here that you guys are talking about some of those things, but we can put it into an action plan. Because I think what happens is, oh, these are great ideas, but when do I do it? And how do I make it happen? Did you guys use a marketing plan? Did you use something like that?
Yes.
Absolutely. Every year we set out a 12-month plan such as that. And we had, we have a budget, a marketing budget that we stood within.
We had we had morning huddles, but we had weekly meetings that we would go over where we were with something, and we would assign somebody. Usually they'd volunteer for something they might like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would assign so that we had a by when, because you're exactly right. Come back with all those ideas, and if you don't address them at your first meeting, they're gone.
You have to keep following up. And I tell you, I cannot overemphasize using the team for ideas and excitement, because they can get behind. When we talked about cause marketing a bit, we had a team member that had experienced breast cancer. And so she organized our whole team to do a breast cancer walk in October one year. And it was a lot of fun.
We had patients involved.
And we had patients. Yeah, we invited everyone we could.
You guys had like matching shirts.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. And we also donated a certain percent of all of our cleanings that month.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. So let's back up a step. For those who don't know, what's cause-related marketing? Define that for them.
Cause marketing, I would term as any type of cause or charity that you or your team are excited about or want to get behind, or community involvement is a lot of it, because we were very heavily involved in our community. And I know that varies from location to location, because for instance, we have little league teams that we sponsored their shirts, and we sponsored this, and boys club, girls club, anything that you can get behind. And of course, churches, getting involved in your community church.
Yeah.
Anything that you can get excited about and give to volunteer-wise or monetarily for a cause that you can get behind. But that's why I was mentioning the team, because they had great ideas. We would have team meetings and say, here's what we'd like to do. What is it we can all get behind and get excited about? Yeah. And wow, they opened up so many different avenues for us and got so many great ideas. Not that we did all of them, but it was exciting, and it was very worthwhile for everyone, that's for sure.
And what's interesting too is that you talk about advertising in paper or magazines. Because we were in Franklin, the local journal, many times when we were involved in charity work or doing something like that, we sponsored different charity events.
That's right.
They would do a write-up on us, and that was beautiful advertisement.
Yeah. Yeah. And now with social media, you can
Exactly.
create a ripple effect with that. So
Totally.
I manage probably 35 clients' Facebook pages, and I do the interaction with the patients. I invite the patients to follow and all those things, but I do the posts. But when those offices go do a charity event like this and they put it on there, it explodes social media because we tag the team in it, they share it to their page, and people, they're scrolling their Facebook and go, "Well, you're not trying to sell me an implant. You're showing me that you care about people." And I think it's 43% of Americans would rather do business with someone who has a mutual cause for something they believe in as well. Breast cancer, you mentioned, had a client, he was really passionate about literature and reading because his dad was illiterate and he was a dentist. And so he did whitening for reading, and his rep donated all the whitening products. So they didn't have to buy any of the product. They then sold the whitening for a discounted rate. I think it was like $200, but the patient made the tax deductible check right out to the library. And they were promoting, and so now the library is promoting, this doc, we'll call him Dr. B, go to Dr. B's office and get your whitening because we get a donation from it and you get whitening. And now the office doesn't make any money on that.
Oh,
But it generates that buzz. It creates that buzz. So a cause-related marketing event is something you're passionate about. And you might just do one, maybe two a year, but there's something that you really get rallied behind. Like you said, breast cancer, maybe it's reading. In our office, we wanted to choose a charity that we could get behind, but also had a really good PR department. Sometimes you're really trying to help someone, they don't know how to promote it, and so therefore it just fizzles. So at that time in Maine, in Augusta, the YMCA was rebuilding like a wing, and they were trying to raise money, and we knew that. And so I met with the PR marketing director of the YMCA, and I said, "Hey, this is what we want to do. We want to do whitening for the Y." And so he had a relationship with a local disc jockey. So he was on, it was called 92 Moose. He was on 92 Moose once a week talking about how they're raising money for the Y and all the different ways they could donate. And you could go to Dr. Bryant's office and you could do whitening for the Y. You get whitening at a discounted rate, it's tax deductible, and the money comes straight to the Y. And so somebody else was promoting us. Now we're not tooting our own horn.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the best promotion you can get. And like when patients build a trust with you, and something very small, it's on the same subject, but we had a really beautiful picture of our family, our sons and us at the park. When you walked into the door, it was a big picture on the back wall of the office. We got more comments on that. It was just something about this dentist has a family.
Yeah.
And a dog.
And a dog. Yeah.
So speaking of that, so Paula and I share a client in Connecticut, and I manage his Facebook page. And he did a program where when you came in and you did fluoride that month, that whole amount for the fluoride went to the local dog shelter. And so every team member sent a picture of them holding their dog. They went down and donated their time at the dog shelter, took pictures of all of that too, and said, "We're sending you guys money for this month on all the fluoride we do," or whatever it is. And we put that on Facebook, and then he promoted on Facebook. What a hit. I mean, people loved it. They just love animals. So
absolutely.
That's a great idea. I
But
love that.
it strikes a base theme, I think, about being creative and using the team for ideas, and then going over that and promoting that. And it's amazing how many things you can do, and
oh my gosh,
powerful.
That don't cost a lot.
And a lot of it, costing nothing is a good price, and all of the marketing, you can do so much marketing with no cost at all if you just are real creative and use your to help come up with ideas and do this and that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wrote down, this takes time and energy, but it's free. I think too many dentists go, "I don't have time, I'm just going to throw money at it." And money actually doesn't that's not the best marketing. I mean, you need to do your SEO stuff. I get that, but usually the paid stuff that you pay for typically
Yeah.
comes across as salesy.
Yes,
And
exactly.
this comes across as, wow, I want to do business with this dentist, right?
Right,
Care.
right. Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Any other idea? I love the physician referral idea. I love cause related marketing. I love 5-star service, create a buzz, word of mouth. Any other things that you feel like, hey, I want to share one more thing?
Oh gosh. Um,
Did you guys, let me ask you this. Did you guys ever do candy buyback? Did you ever do that? That
we
was,
did do that. Yeah,
okay.
Halloween time we did the buyback, and we sent the candies to the troops,
Yeah.
from Camp Atterbury here just south of us. Yes, we did that for a number of years. We'd give so much for a pound of candy or whatever.
Yeah. That's another cause related marketing because people get behind the troops and they really don't want their kids to have candy anyway. So you buy it back from them. The kid gets money and you're on the news because you're doing this program. And so typically the local news will want to come do an interview with you. So I did an interview for ours, and it takes a couple years to get momentum. But when we stopped doing it, we still had people calling, hey, are you still doing candy buyback? No, we're not doing it anymore. That whole thing. Here's my question for you. You're kind of famous, right? You guys are kind of famous. So how did you end up being on? Tell us what you were on as far as like news and inside, all this kind of stuff. Tell that story.
Oh gosh. When I decided to kind of niche myself down to doing more cosmetic dental work and restorative instead of trying to be everyone's dentist. Let me just say that. Took a lot of education, a lot of CE, took our team to these CE classes. So we learned very, very quickly and very well, I feel, how to do cosmetic dental procedures. So it was about the time there was a program on, I think it was on
Extreme Makeover.
Extreme Makeovers down
Yep.
in CBS, I think it was. And a good friend of mine was the dentist on Extreme Makeover. Bill Dorfman is his name. But in any case, I was speaking to him, and he was, and I said, I want to do something locally, just in Indiana, just around our community. So I made a call to the Indianapolis Star and announced that. I said, hey, we're going to do a contest. We would like some applications, for people who would think they would benefit from an extreme dental makeover. And gosh, the phone just.
And you were going to do it for free. The winner was going to get this for free.
We did it for free, yes.
Yeah.
We did it for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we had all these applications and all of this. And so then we reached out to a local television station and told them what we were doing. And Karen got involved with a cosmetic surgeon. We started just networking. That's how it all began. That was the
I
beginning.
put together a team.
A whole team.
So I was able to get a cosmetic surgeon, an eye doctor, someone that did the person's
Hairstylist,
hairstyle,
clothes.
the clothing,
Yes.
everything. And so we got that going.
Yeah, that
And
You had like a reveal and everything.
Oh, yes.
it was done by Inside Edition, actually.
And then the
Wow.
TV station said, yeah, we'll be happy to follow it. So they came into our office and they recorded all of the cosmetic makeover sessions, and then the labs. I got.
We're back.
Okay. It started growing and growing and growing, and we had some Indiana magazines, Indianapolis Monthly, Indianapolis Woman magazines, want articles on how to choose. How would you choose a cosmetic dentist to do your work? So I wrote several articles for that.
Our makeover person was on the front cover.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
He was a school teacher, and it was just amazing.
Oh,
And
it
so
just-
that must have then generated enough people that had seen you and wanted to do that. And I think now today, this is post recession 10, 11, 12 time. We call it full mouth dentistry. I mean, that's what we're calling it versus cosmetics. I think sometimes people think, oh, that's elective, but really what you were doing was fully restoring a mouth to health.
Oh,
Well, it
yes.
was actually both. It was full mouth dentistry, but it was also, we call it a cosmetic because
Yep.
people related to that, a drill and fill type of thing that might have been implanted, in their thought. But yeah, it was a total
The whole
makeover,
thing.
and we
Amazing. Yeah.
did several of those. We did them complimentary at least once a year,
Wow.
and we had we chose, and we
3 years.
for 3 years, and we
Wow.
interviewed all of our applicants,
So that did
and
have some cost to
along with
you.
it,
That had some cost to you
Yeah.
then,
oh
because
yes,
you had to pay a lab bill and some chair time and
well, the chair time primarily because the lab bill was really absorbed by some of the labs that we had always used, and really high-end cosmetic or restorative
yep.
labs. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
So it just grew and grew. And then the one time when I got a phone call one day from a producer in New York City, and that was from Inside Edition, and I thought it was a hoax. I thought, what happened is they picked up on a makeover that we did locally that was filmed
By the
by-
local
by the-
Fox
by
channel.
the Fox 59 channel, and they loved it and said, "Oh, can you put together this team and produce this and do this?" And Karen gathered up the whole team, and they came to Franklin and filmed
Yeah.
the makeover.
We had
Yeah.
it at the country club, and we had over 200 people there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Talk
it
about
made-
generating a buzz,
it was-
right? Yeah. Did you have patients that
Right,
came?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Did you have people that then came from out of the area to see you?
Oh, yeah.
All
yeah.
over Indiana, a couple patients from Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely. That's
That's-
why, when we started, people
Go ahead, Karen.
would say, you can't do that in a small town.
Yeah.
You're in a small town. How are you
Yeah.
going to become famous?
We've got a lot of farmers and a lot of rural people,
Yeah.
and our city is a city of around 25,000.
Wow.
And yeah, for us to be doing what we had done, it really took some marketing and outside the boundaries of the
Yeah.
city.
We're
And,
Yeah.
close to Indianapolis.
You
but
know,
we didn't let it stop us. I mean,
yeah. You guys, I think that's such a testimony for those who are like, I hear all the time from clients, oh, well, you don't know our patients in our town. Well, in our area, we couldn't do that or whatever. You can do this anywhere. I think it's actually easier to do outside of a big city.
yes,
You're right.
you're right.
Because otherwise you're just one in a huge, fish pond in these big cities, where here you can definitely be, your own person and get a lot more recognition.
Yeah.
What
And
would-
you have to make sure you have the right training.
Yes.
I must say the CE, you don't try to sell something that isn't on your shelf,
Yep.
as the saying goes. Make sure that you and your team are well trained, and you spend the investment, a huge
Costs a
investment,
lot.
cost a lot of money to go through a lot of these courses and these classes throughout the United States that we did. Spent a lot of time and money on getting ourselves prepared to be able to take that on,
And just as importantly, learning how to communicate with your patients, because we did all this training. We didn't know how to present big treatment plans. We would scare people off. We learned so much when we went through the training and learned how to build a team and talk to
With
patients and
Eric
build
Vickery.
trust with you, Eric Vickery. If it wouldn't have been for that,
And Paula.
And
Paul
Paula,
Harris.
yeah, I mean, that whole team. I mean,
all those guys.
yeah, absolutely.
How
Yeah.
effective is
Without
that?
that,
Yeah,
it
it's
wouldn't have, we would not have become what we became.
absolutely,
promise you
absolutely,
that.
It's,
absolutely.
it's really not a
So-
chicken or the egg situation, because you have to have the verbal skills and the systems in place in order to do the things you're talking about. Because yes, you need the foundation. You're working on your clinical CE. That is your foundation. Without that, you're phony. But nobody's going to sign up with you if you don't actually have really good verbal skills to understand how to present it. And then you go market it, and then you go spend money on marketing. And as we head into a quote recession, now more than ever is the time to be marketing. Now more than time is the time to send the message that everything is how it is. It's the same. You still got to take care of your mouth. So I thank you guys so much for saying that. I think that was me learning along with you. We got to do a lot of presenting together. And for those that are watching this, what I would say is this: you have access now to 2 amazing coaches. You just got to reach out to us. They come as a team. They're a package dynamic duo. If you're a doctor and you work with your spouse, right? If you're a doctor, you work with your spouse, you need to meet with these 2. You need to see how they manage this, how they did it. If you want to work on marketing, if you want to work on large case presentation, these are the 2 that we want you to talk with. They're amazing coaches and they're here to help you out. So Karen, Dr. Raymond, thank you so much for spending your time with us today on this. And we look forward to you guys.
We enjoy it.
Yeah.
What we do. So, and thank you so much. I mean, thank you enough. Thanks.
Yeah. Awesome. So they're here to help. Reach out and we'll get you guys taken care of and get you some coaching support from the Raymonds. All right. Thanks, guys.